Okay, I would like to call the reorganizational session for the St. Genevieve Board of Education meeting April 21st to order. And we have first to approve the county clerk's certification of the election results, and that is item R2. The election results were such that as pursuant to Missouri statute 115.124 stating no election is required if the number of candidates filing is the same as the number of positions to be filled. Being as such, for St. Genevieve R2 School District, the county clerk has certified that Charles Crowther, Eric Bosler, and Martha Riesinger have been elected for a 3-year term. So I need a motion to accept these results. Motion by Dave Bova, second. Second by Joan Dunsey. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. At this point then, Mr. Terry McDaniel will administer the oath of office as the secretary of the board.
I'm just going to do it from here. Don't please stand for your
Sorry, forgot. I think I did it last time because Mr. Mack was reading it once, so.
Okay, just, I've got it broken down in phrases, so it won't be that long. It says, I state your name.
I, Eric Bosler,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of school director
discharge the duties of school director
in and for the St. Genevieve County R2,
and for the
County of St. Genevieve, State of Missouri,
County of St. Genevieve, State of Missouri,
to the best of my ability according to law.
to the best of my ability according to law.
Wonderful. Thank you all and congratulations, and we're glad to have you back. At this time, we need to entertain a motion to nominate for board president.
I nominate Martha Riesinger for board president.
Okay? Any other nominations? Okay.
Move that we nomination cease and elect by acclamation.
I need a second to that. Second by Mr. Crowder. All in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. I need a nomination for vice president.
I nominate Joan Dunsey.
Any other nominations? I would entertain a motion that we cease nominations.
So moved.
To cease or to cease and elect by acclamation? Which one?
Cease and we elect by acclamation.
Okay, motion by Dave Bova. Any second to that?
Second.
I think Mr. Rudolph got you there, Mr. Crowder. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And the last one here, we need to have a nomination for the election of delegate for MSBA.
Nominate David Bowler.
I'll second.
Any other nominations? If no other nominations, I need a motion.
I move to elect David Bova by acclamation as delegate for the MSBA.
Any second?
Second.
By Mr. Crowder. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. I need a nomination for the alternate delegate for MSBA.
I'd like to nominate Eric Bosler.
Any other nominations? I would need a motion then.
Move to elect Eric Bosler by acclamation as alternate delegate for MSBA and delegate assembly.
Second.
Second by Mr. Crowther. All those in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? I would entertain a motion to adjourn the reorganizational session.
I move to adjourn the reorganizational session of the Board of Education of the reorganized school district number R2, St. Genevieve County, Missouri.
Motion by Ms. Dunsey,
Second.
second by Mr. Bova. Was it Mr. Bosler? Sorry. You two are gonna have to speak more differently, that's all I sound like from across the room. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All right, those opposed? I turn it over to Ms. Reesinger.
Okay, I'd like to call the Board of Education for Monday, April 21st to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda of the April 21st, 2014 regular meeting as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the approval of the consent agenda items.
Move to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have public participation. Okay, we'll move on to the report of the superintendent, Mr. Jones.
You'll notice you have several notes in here this time. Again, in a difficult month for our school district in a variety of ways. And so take notice of those. Our retirement recognition banquet for this year will be May 16th, and I believe that you've already received a letter asking for your RSVP. So if you have it tonight, I can take it, or if not, just drop it by the office or put it in the mail, whatever's most convenient. I think Althea or Becca would either one allow you to just email them if that's most convenient, or call, whatever floats your boat, as long as we know if you're coming and if you're bringing a guest. We have had half of our kindergarten registration. We had good numbers there, and I think we wound up with 68 came through. Some of those were actually from Bloomsdale, and then we had a few no-shows that we'll try to catch at the Bloomsdale one. So pretty good numbers, and not unusually high, but a nice strong start. So that's good. Of course, we hope that we've gotten the word out better and that we're really getting all the students, all the possible students that are out there. If you haven't signed up yet for kindergarten registration, you can still do so, and it doesn't matter if you live in St. John or if you live at Bloomsdale and whatever, you can still go to the Bloomsdale Elementary kindergarten registration, and that is April the 26th from 8 to 12. That is this coming Saturday, and you can call up Bloomsdale Elementary and make your appointment. So please, please, please get them all in. It makes things a lot easier in the fall if we have good numbers to start with. As we said last month, our last day of school is May 28th with graduation on the 25th at 8. I wanted you all to notice that we did receive a letter of approval from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, who did a review of our food care, child and adult care food program. That's our summer school and after school food programs that we run through this department. And just note that there were no findings, so everything is as it should be. Cheryl runs a real tight ship, and Ms. Sharon Brooks assists her with clerical on this, and all the forms and paperwork go through them. They do a wonderful job, and I appreciate their work. You will also notice that we have from Fowler Bus their State Highway Patrol certification that they had an excellent report, no rejection out of the fleet of 36 buses with a 100% pass rate. So they do an outstanding job of taking care of the buses. Our children are in top quality, very safe vehicles when they are on those buses. Just a side note, I guess, about buses. I know at Perryville there's been some change, and Our bus company is actually owned by the same person, Brad Mull, who owns Fowler and Meyer is the one that operates in Perryville. You all are aware that we signed a 3-year contract with Fowler Bus, Brad Mull, owner, and we don't have any reason to not honor our side of that contract. Brad's already assured me that there will be no hitch in service for us. He doesn't see any change happening. The only thing he did say that might happen is that he intends to take his better buses, his newer buses from that fleet down there and replace our older buses with them. So it actually works to our advantage in upgrading our fleet even more. So I just want to reassure everybody that even though they're having some change down there, Brad assures me that that will not engender a change up here. And from our side, we don't have any thought of not honoring our contract. Okay? So I've spoken to Brad about that and let him know the same. Okay? Yes, sir.
On the auto bus service,
Uh-huh.
as far as miles traveled a year, is our school district one of the top 10 as far as numbers traveled?
We do have a very, very large geographic area. I think we're probably in the top 10% of schools and how, in the state, as far as the area that we have to travel.
Says a lot for the buses.
Sure
in
does.
top shape, you know,
Yep.
Consider some of the roads they got to go over too.
That's absolutely true. A lot of gravel, a lot of county roads, and the county road district does a good job for us. And so, you know, but yes, that fleet's kept in top-notch shape. I'll turn it over at this point for our principal reports. Ms. Peggy, you want to start?
Yeah, is from here okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Just some things that have gone on at St. Jen for the past month. We had a staff meeting, and one of the things we're working on, one of the administrators brought back the power of a teacher, and it's restoring hope and well-being to change lives. So it's kind of about taking care of our teachers so they can better take care of our kids. So we've started a study of that. We completed Terra Nova testing. We finished our window, and if we have any to do, there are just some missing spots where children were absent from school. We had a third, fourth, and fifth grade went together and had a family fun night, and they had the Tiger Sanctuary people out, not the tigers, just the people. But they did a wonderful presentation, and the kids loved it, and it was a great thing that a lot of them, even though it is close by, haven't visited before. We have 3 teachers in our building that are expecting within like 3 days of each other. So we've had a baby shower just to celebrate all the good things happening there. We had our annual mom and son dodgeball game, and well attended and loved by all, I think is the best way to say that. We're continuing with our MRI training. 3rd and 4th grade went through training, and we hope to continue that into next year. That's the Missouri Reading Initiative, and it's powerful teaching is what it's all about. Our leadership team met, our staff met, so we've got lots of things going on. We're at the finish line almost. And I did want to brag, one of our teachers here tonight presenting, Lori Vaith, received a $500 grant from Walmart. So she said it took her some time to sit down and write it. She wrote it. Nancy's already ordered up the little, what did you get, Lori?
Netbooks.
Little netbooks for her use in her classroom, little tablets. So we were very excited about that. So we are.
Did I hear tell also that you all had a music program?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I had that written down. 2nd and 4th grade music program. Miss Lacey Bowman's our brand new music teacher, and I received a wonderful note, and I forwarded it on. 2nd and 4th did Mary Poppins, and Miss Bowman came out as Mary Poppins. It was unbelievable, and the kids were great. She used technology in the pack, so in between curtain closings, they had recordings of the kids up here talking about their favorite songs or singing little parts. It was amazing. Then the 4th grade came out with the history of rock and roll, and the crowd even loved it. There was like, yeah. It was fabulous. They were costumed, they had their instruments, they looked the part. So it was a wonderful thing. She did an amazing job. if you weren't there, I can't tell you how much fun it was to view. So, yes, thank you, Shelley.
Really appreciate Ms. Bowman.
Oh.
She's done a super job. Assistant?
We had no students transfer out. We had 6 new students at Rosedale Elementary. Teacher of the month was Emily Deck, and staff of the month was Rose Schwenk, the secretary. 6th grade went to middle school for a get-to-know-you activity with the teachers and the principals. On March 11th, 5th grade participated in a field trip to Powell Symphony Hall and went to CC's Pizza. On March 13th, we had a faculty meeting. 5th graders registered for 6th grade. On March 14th, we had an awards ceremony where we do honor roll, perfect attendance, hardest worker, friendship, penmanship, and best listeners. We had a PTO meeting on March 22nd, and we had mother-son dodgeball and father-daughter dance, and the father-daughter dance was awesome. Mr. Rudolph was in attendance, and we took good pictures and sent those out. And then 4th and 5th grade had a care team meeting. We had 3rd quarter grades go home on March 28th. March 31st, we had the dental clinic, and we had a visit from the circus clown. Kids really enjoyed that. We had 28 students with birthdays that came to the office for books. And we had several students sign the AR wall for 100, 200, and 300 books. And then I have to brag on Laura Gegg because she also got a $500 Walmart grant. And we already got the check. We haven't spent it yet, but we do have the check. So congratulations.
Way to go, ladies.
Who won the dodgeball game?
Well, there were several games. Usually it was the kids.
Moms and I guess don't move as fast as they did everybody. Ms. Lee?
Yes. The middle school jazz band participated in the MAC Jazz Fest, and we had Nathaniel Church receive an Outstanding Soloist Award at that fest. The band also participated in the Valley Junior High competition. We had 12 total winners. 2 were duets, 10 were solos. Those were all 1, 2, 2+, or 3 ratings. We did have Savannah Sabota with the clarinet solo receive a 1, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the highest you can get that district. And then we also had Brandon O'Haver who did a tuba solo and got a 1 rating. Then the band and choir students went to MAC and participated in the MAJHAA Honors Day in the choir. They did that one day. Amy Meyer organized the 5th grade get to know SUS Day where we had all the 5th graders that morning, and that's always a lot of fun. We like to tell them not to walk in a line when they go back to class. Our 7th and 8th grade math team participated in the mineral area math competition. We also participated in the 58th Southeast Missouri Regional Science Fair. We had 3 teams place 3rd place there, 2 teams placed 2nd, and 1 team placed 1st. We also received best observations for Maddie Helms, Allie Grass, Chase Kohler, Brooke Weiler, and Zane Reynolds. And we had Caitlin Kreitler and Madison Rainey receive the Broadcom Masters Award in Best Experiment Group. So we were very excited about that. We also had an 8th grader by the name of Wade Hahn, who participated in the AAU Wrestling World Championship in Spearfish, South Dakota, and Wade came home as a world champion there. So we were pretty excited about that. We participated in the Smarter Balance field test in Math 6, so we got our taste of what that's going to look like. It was very interesting. A few technical glitches, but it went very well. We also had our drama students and design students, Mrs. Otto and Mr. Otto, put on a play called The Aliens Are Coming. The Aliens Are Coming. And it was very cute. They were definitely aliens. And then our NJHS, Mrs. Rowland and Mrs. Sharon Follett, put on a middle school movie night, and all the proceeds from the movie night benefit their scholarship that will go to a senior. And they also organized the 5K color run for Chad's Coalitions. And that was very successful, and I think everybody had a blast. So it was a good time. So that's what we've accomplished.
Thank you, Leah. And Mr. Mercer, you're representing the high school tonight?
Yes, Mr. Haney is on his way back from Florida with the choir kids, so I'm going to stand in for him. I wanted to let you know that Mrs. Google was selected as the Teacher of the Month. In March, also Shelby Warner was named the Elks Student of the Month, and Monica Inman was selected as the Rotary Student of the Month. So we've had lots of great honors besides those, too many to name. Since the March report was compiled by Mr. Haney, there are a couple things I want to update you on. We did have prom a few weeks ago, and the sponsors this year were Mr. Boyd and Mrs. Sikowski, and by all accounts, it was a very successful night, well supervised, well organized. They just did a bang-up job for us. We also participated in a field test for the Smarter Balance Assessment. Ours was in English, and just as Julie said, it was an interesting experience. Also, I wanted to take this time to make a very public thank you to all of those who helped us get through the last few weeks. As Mrs. Joker said, it's been a very trying year, and the only way that we've been able to get through it is because we have such good people working for us and such a good community working with us. So thank you to all.
Questions, anybody?
No, I just want to add, I think I say this every time. I don't know if you decided to do this, Ms. Jarvis, if it you.
We all did, I think, but it was a good idea.
Probably the best part of our school work. No matter what we do, what we have to do afterwards or whatever, this is always worth it. Just hearing this, I can imagine, I just can imagine nobody wants to send it.
Well, we feel that way too.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to unfinished business. First, summer school.
Yes, the summer school program that we're recommending is basically the same that you've had for quite some time now. It's kind of three parts: extended school year services for students in the challenge program, special education programs, some credit recovery opportunities for high school students in English 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Algebra 1, and then also supplemental reading programs that will be offered at the elementary school for students that are more than 1 year behind, or students in grade 4 that are more than 1 year behind in reading. In the past, we haven't had any students that qualified for that program, but we are required to offer it. Summer school program is recommended to start the first 4 weeks, June 2nd through the 26th, June 23rd through July 11th.
And then the supplemental reading program that if we have students more than a grade
Yes.
behind, after 4th grade, then we have to offer some instructional help, and that would run from June 2nd to the 27th if needed. That's for June 27th.
Yeah, that's what you want. Any questions about those? They're basically the same programs.
I move to approve the summer school 2014 as presented.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor, by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, the instructional program presentation, second grade.
Yes, and I believe we have agreed that Ms. Lori Bates will start things off and she'll introduce her compadres.
Hello, I'm Lori Bates. I have Tiffany Wolk, Angela Vidox, and Heidi Heberly from St. John Elementary. I'm going to begin with an overview of our communication arts curriculum. For reading, we follow the MRI format, and it consists of guided reading lessons, whole group read-alouds, and instruction, along with shared reading. The idea of this format is to provide lessons in a variety of different formats in order to meet the Common Core curriculum and to allow them to utilize higher order thinking skills. During guided reading, students are grouped according to their DRA2 reading levels for small group instruction that consists of reading fluency, comprehension, and word work. Guided reading instruction is beneficial because it allows all of the students to progress at their own individual reading level. Student progression is measured by running records and anecdotal notes, which allows us to then adjust our small group lessons to better meet their needs. We encourage students in whole group read-alouds. We engage them in whole group read-alouds in order to introduce the comprehension skill that's being taught, and it allows students to think, pair, share. One thing that we learned during our MRI instruction is that communication is essential in learning, so allowing the students to communicate and think, pair, share helps with their learning process. Also, during shared reading lessons, students read and discuss duplicate copies of text in order to reinforce the reading skill being taught. Student progression for reading is formally monitored 3 times a year by administering the DRA2. Generally, it's assessed in September, December, and then May. I also want to take a moment to explain how fantastic the MRI training is. The information that is given to us from our instructor is able to be used immediately within our classroom. She's extremely knowledgeable, and the material is just, it's fantastic. The way she presents it and the information that we can portray back to the class.
She's very well with Common Core too.
Mhm.
I mean, she's everything she's giving us goes great with Common Core coming in.
So we're thankful that we have that training, and hopefully we can continue with it in years to come. Phonics and spelling are a combined grade for 2nd grade simply because our weekly spelling lists are aligned with the current phonics lessons. Also, those lessons are taught during our word work practice for phonics, and it's also intertwined into the guiding reading lessons for the word work. Our writing curriculum also follows the MRI format. During 2nd grade, the students are required to develop 3 writing pieces: a narrative, an informational, and an opinion piece. And one thing, a big change that happens during writing in 2nd grade, when the students come to us, we are expecting to get 4 5-sentence paragraphs. By the time they leave 2nd grade, they are developing 5-paragraph pieces of writing with an effective beginning, supporting paragraphs in the middle, and an effective ending. So they make a huge gain in their writing samples from beginning to the end of the year. The last component of 2nd grade curriculum that I'm going to discuss is handwriting, and that is in terms of cursive. We introduce cursive generally around October, the lowercase and the uppercase, and the students are always extremely excited to begin the cursive handwriting. It's one of those 2nd grade milestones, but then it is later reinforced in 3rd grade. And I will then hand it over to Michelle Meyer from Bloomsdale.
Hi, I'm Michelle Meyer. This is Christy Byington and Laura Gett. In math, in math, we really focus on 2 and 3 digit subtraction and addition. That's a big one to help them with multiplication when they get into the upper grades. We also cover money, time, measurement, and lots of problem solving in all those areas. Then in science and social studies, a lot of the skills will overlap. So we do have some level books that will help teach the science and social studies and enhance the Common Core. An RTI response to intervention. The students receive intervention based on individual needs by using our common assessments that we give each unit. And then we focus the kids into groups like phonics, reading especially, phonics, grammar, sometimes math, and then sometimes we have enough students that we and teachers available to do an enrichment group too. Both of our buildings have received mobile computer lab, and we work on typing skills, the comprehend, precision, and then also get into other skills that the 3rd graders are having to use some computer skills to do the math. So we're getting them, hopefully getting them ready. We appreciate your time, and also support with the training and materials that we get. It really helps us do a better job and more enjoyable. So we appreciate that.
Questions? Anybody? I just want to say this. I've taught high school English for 14 years, and I've pounded freshman heads forever trying to get them to write 5-paragraph essays with an effective beginning, middle, and end, and appropriate support. And so if you guys are doing that in the second grade,
They don't even realize they're doing it.
it's time for me to retire because I was so ineffective.
And we didn't even think it was possible when our MRI instructor, Linda Jo, told us that we should be having them write 5 paragraphs. We thought, well, that's impossible, but
Those things, no, we should have did this years ago.
That's phenomenal. That is awesome.
We all know that that's the reason that these principals get to come to us and report all that, because of all you guys.
Well, isn't that the
It's just awesome.
That is so very true.
It's just, it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Okay, next we have new business. First is the ad hoc committee for preschool grant.
Yes, in the CSIP plan, one of our goals is to investigate the possibility of a preschool program, kind of as a partner and to go along with our early childhood special education program, to offer interaction with non-handicapped peers and just to provide another service to our community. And so this is the first step, and it's the first step that's listed in our CSIP plan also, to create a committee to study this. If we choose to use the Missouri Preschool Project grant, we have to have a committee anyway. And so we are going to look at the requirements for that committee to set up a study group and see if that's the route we want to move toward, then we'll already have the right people in place. But first of all, we will do some study of this to see about the feasibility, and the committee will report progress back to you on the 14th of August. So at this point, we just need your approval to form this committee and get started studying this project.
I'll go ahead and move to approve the ad hoc committee to study the expansion of our preschool program and the preparation of the Missouri Preschool Project grant as presented.
Second.
The motion and second, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is the facility naming committee action.
Yes, we, a couple of years ago, started the idea of naming some of our facilities after some of the educators who have been in this district long-term. And we established an ad hoc committee at that time to begin to consider different names for different buildings and facilities and things of that nature. Our board policy, FF, calls for a committee to be formed to name a new or existing facility. The committee will prepare 3 names for any building or part of a building to be named, and 3 names will be reviewed by the board, with the board making the final decision. We would like to suggest the following committee members to consider and come up with some suggestions for the naming of the high school gymnasium. This was at request of the high school that this committee be established, and their primary consideration is that this committee look at possibly naming the gymnasium for Coach Peggy Johnson. So that will be their prime consideration and some possible names related to that. So need your authorization to form this committee. Oh, and on the committee, in addition, we've had a request from Melinda Shilley to be added, so I have added her, and we'll call, and she's requested, and I'll let her know that if you all approve the committee, that she would be included. So.
Move to approve the formation of an ad hoc committee to consider the naming of the high school gymnasium and to approve the above list committee members. Committee is to report at the May 2014 regular board meeting.
Second.
And the motion and the second, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education hold a closed meeting with a closed record, a closed vote following the regular open meeting on May 19th, 2014, to be held in the R.W. Thomas Library, 715 Washington Street, St. Genevieve, Missouri, for the purpose of discussing and voting upon the following items of business: legal action, causes of legal action, or litigation; lease, purchase, or sale of real estate; hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting particular employees; scholastic probation, expulsion, or graduation of identifiable individuals; testing and examination materials; preparation for negotiation with employee groups; specifications for competitive bidding until approved or published. Sealed bids and related documents until the bids are open. Sealed proposals and related documents until all proposals are rejected, or any documents related to a negotiated contract until a contract is executed. Individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment. Records protected from disclosure by law. Records relating to municipal hotlines established for the reporting of abuse and wrongdoing. Confidential or privileged communication with an auditor. Existing or proposed security systems and structural plans of district property. Records identifying would allow unauthorized access to or unlawful disruption or configuration of components or the operation of a computer, computer system, computer network, or telecommunications network. Credit card numbers, personal identification numbers, digital certificates, physical and virtual keys, access codes, or authorization codes that are used to protect electronic transactions. I further move that notice of this meeting and attendance agenda be posted as required by law. Motion, second, Eric Bosler, roll call, Eric Bosler.
Yes.
David Bova.
Yes.
Charlie Crowther.
Yes.
Joan Dunkey.
Yes.
Karen McDaniel, yes. Martha Reeser.
Yes.
Rick Ruloff.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
And you're to go to closed